Welcome to All Things Social Security. My name is Stephanie Joy of Joy Disability. I am a Social Security disability attorney, and I would like to invite you to watch our daily video tips on the Social Security disability and SSI claims process each day at the new time of noon Eastern Standard Time here on YouTube on this channel. And on Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have our live Q&A live stream. So you are welcome to join that as well. Ask your questions, get there on time, and you'll be one of the first answered. Thanks so much and have a great day. Enjoy the video. Good morning. It is Sunday, November 16th. Let's do quickly the Sunday Social Security roundup for this past week. And let's just hop right into it because I got to run this morning. But let's see. This would be going from the 10th to yesterday, the 15th of November. On the 10th, the video share of the day was a clip out from a live stream, and it concerned someone's question about medical dental assistant type of work history and the transferable skills you're going to want to be able to prove either don't exist or you can't transfer them. So we go into that a little bit because that is a skill job. The next day, November 11th, we had a discussion about when a consultative examiner, so that would be whether it's the mental or the physical CE consultative examination, when that examiner fails to do a decent job and what to do about it in your Social Security disability claim, potentially. The next day, Wednesday, which was November 12th, this was the first of 4 parts of a video on malingering. It had been asked for by a viewer, and I thought it was a good point because people with the best of intentions and the most honest people of all often do get concerned that they are going to be incorrectly labeled as malingering. So we go into that. That is just part 1 of the 4, and they all come out pretty much as soon as possible thereafter, but not necessarily each day, every day. On the 13th, this was Thursday. As you know, Wednesday at 1 p.m., we have the live stream Q&A for a couple of hours at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This was Thursday, and it was the replay of the day before's live stream. And that's where we cut out all of the pauses and everything. You'd be able to clip a half hour out of it with all that reading and pausing and scrolling so that people watching the live stream don't have to suffer through that like the live people did. Okay, Friday, of course, was fraud law review, and this one was about an illegal alien who stole ID and also, by his actions, killed a deputy with a front loader at the job of which he was not lawfully employed. And I think they allude to the fact that there was no evidence to show that he had actually been trained properly or within legal standards to even operate that front loader. And a deputy gets killed as a result. Horrible. And I think he got a slap on the wrist, but I'm not sure. I think so. I beat so many of them. All right, so that was Friday. And then yesterday, Saturday, was part 2 of the malingering 4-part series. So feel free to take a listen to that. That was the 15th. Yeah. All righty, that's it, guys. That was for the week. I hope you had a really good week. I hope you have a great next week. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I hope it's peaceful and meaningful. All right. That's what we can all hope for, right? All right, I will talk to you later. Bye-bye now. It's still Sunday. Did you miss last week's Social Security roundup? Not this week that you just heard, but the one prior to that, and want to catch up? I'm attaching it now. Have a great day. Bye. Hey guys, happy Sunday. Hope you had a great week. Hope you had a great weekend. It's getting colder for sure. We are going to have this Social Security Sunday roundup for the week of the one that just passed, of course. Looks like November 3rd. That would be Monday to yesterday, November 8th. All right, so let's get to it. So on Monday, we had a little ditty about transferable skills. What are they? You hear about them all the time. They're very important when it comes to the grids. So it's definitely something you want to be aware of if you're 50 or older, okay? Because it's something you have to conquer. On November 4th, these were some do's and don'ts about preparing for hearing. And I think there's like a 2-parter with that. So it might be like a Q&A from one of the live streams and then some additional information that's been tagged on that makes it a little more clear if you wanted more information about that. And you know that we do have a playlist about ALJ hearings if you wanted to see more of that. On Wednesday, we had our live stream Q&A as always at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That was pretty great. I love seeing you guys. It's just fabulous. I love the questions. But we also had our 12 o'clock regular daily. And that's where I'm going to mention it. This was a little a clip from my collaboration with Jonathan Ginsberg the other day when we talked a little bit about the work history report and some pointers on that. And I'm pretty sure I tagged on some more information about work history report. It is very, very important report, and it stays in your file. So through all the levels of adjudication, and also sometimes if you have to file again, they'll look at your old one. So you want to be aware of that. Thursday, we came out with the replay of the live stream from Wednesday without all of the silent moments in there still. So if anyone's watching the replay, you don't have to sit through all that downtime. It might not be so terrible when you're in live stream and just kind of hanging out, chatting with the crowd, but otherwise on a replay, it just wouldn't be the same. So that's taken out, and that did come out timely. YouTube's doing a really good job of late processing these 2-hour shindigs in a timely fashion. Friday, of course, was the fraud law review, and this particular one was it actually was reported a few weeks ago, but as you know, I'm guessing the reason why they're not reporting right now is because of the shutdown, and it's certainly not an essential need, like continuing the flow of working on all your cases, all of you fine people. So I'm glad they shut it down. And hopefully they'll start it back up later when they get their budget under control with Congress, who of course is holding up everything terribly. Anyway, this one was about a Poland couple who lives in Maine, and they defrauded the SSA and Maine welfare for 10 years. And I guess my bigger point about this one was the slap on the wrist they both got. That's Maine for you. Maine's really gone downhill, hasn't it? So anyway, I guess it's crime pays is the end result of that. Then yesterday, we had a little tip about anxiety's impact on your SSD claim and how, if you suffer from it, which I would almost think almost everybody with disabling impairments enough to really not be able to work, like by and large, almost everybody who applies, if that anxiety does certain minimal limitations to your concentration and such, which by definition, I think it does. This goes into a little bit of how you want to use that, when it's going to be most important. And that was it, guys. That was the week. Hope you had a good one. I hope you have a great rest of your Sunday. Hope it's peaceful and meaningful, and be safe for the rest of the week until I see you next time. And I'd love to see you at Wednesday's live streams, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks, guys. Have a great week. Hello again. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it was helpful, if not just a little bit informative. In the event you have a Social Security question you want addressed, please feel free to make a comment below and ask the question, even if nothing to do with this particular video. And just a quick, again, reminder, we have our daily video shares and tips around noon every day of the week. And on Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have our live Q&A session where you can come in live and enter your questions in the chat. And we all pretty much have a good time for an hour or two. I look forward to seeing you there, hopefully. And lastly, don't forget about our benefactor memberships. They're very reasonably priced. The first one is very nominal, and you get a few perks, but on a bigger scale, it contributes to us being able to fulfill a mission of assisting certain people with representation that would otherwise not be able to get it. We look forward to continuing to do that, and so far it's working out like the bomb. So thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Bye-bye now.